Hey guys, today I'll be talking about the only builds you should really go in Yorick. What's the best one for patch 12.4, yeah? So, I'll be going over the best, the strongest, the most fun, and what I think is really good and stuff like that, alright? Let's just get the strongest one out of the way. I'm gonna be going over the classic Yorick build and how it's evolved in this patch and what it is now. The way you want to go is Hullbreaker first item, Triforce into your boots. This could be many things. This could be steel plates, or if you're against a lot of TC Mercury trades. If you're snowballing really hard, you can also go back to steel plates. You shouldn't really go to cities with this build because you have a lot of ability haste on the item following Triforce. And the next item, always after these three, will be an armor pen item. I see a lot of people going with some weird shit like Titanic and stuff like that. It's okay, but the fact of the matter is, Grudge or Heat Cleaver are going to be your best bets, alright? You want the tankiness and you need to just survive, you go Cleaver, alright? If you're snowballing really hard, you can go Grudge instead. I personally like Grudge more just because, as Yorick, you should be split pushing to carry anyways. Cleaver doesn't give damage, right? And the armor pen from Grudge works in towers, so that's really nice. Now after your armor pen item, it's going to be a flex item. Depending on the state of the game, it could be a lot of different things. It could be a fawn or something. It could be like, you know, a random's omen. If you find yourself like, the game's okay, you know, I don't really need heavy tankiness, get Death Stance. Death Stance is a really good item because by this time you have a lot of AD and you have a lot of bonus AD, which gives you a big fat heal on your Death Stance now, yeah? Also, I personally think this item's just overtuned right now. It gives you really good stats, a lot of tankiness, and it helps clutch out those fights, or just helps you team fight in general a little bit better. Now after this, the last item, it could be a lot of different things. It could be another tank item, it could be stone plate. Now if you go Grudge, I don't advise going stone plate just because the shield's only 800, it's not that much. It's of course a decent number, but it's not that good. If you go Cleaver, it's a really good option. So go stone plate only if you go Cleaver. But I'll tell you the best item that is absolutely amazing. Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel is your safe bet. It works when you die with ghouls. It works the ghouls and maiden and stuff like that will still be active when you die. I'll demonstrate right now. As you can see there, my stone plate still was active even though I was dead. That's really powerful, especially in the late game super scenarios where you're at the nexus and the enemy backs and they kill you and your ghouls and maiden can finish them off, yeah? So that is a classic Yorick build. This is the best overall, most consistent one so far. You might find yourself struggling a little bit in this current meta right now just because Hullbreaker is really common. Don't worry, it's going to nerf next patch, so you'll be good to go. Very strong build. I highly advise going it. And let's move on to the next build, yeah? Now, we're on to the next build, the Lethality Eclipse build, my personal favorite one, right? So, as usual, we'll go Hullbreaker first item just because it gives such strong snowball potentials, a lot of tankiness, and helps you get those plates early game. And it's just overall a really broken item right now, right? Don't worry, it's not going to nerf for melee champions, it's only going to get nerfed for range champions next patch, but we can still abuse it, yeah? Now, the next item will be a bit of an unusual one, Paralysis Core. You might be thinking, why Paralysis Core over Eclipse or something like Dustblade? The reason for this is, the ability to dash is incredibly powerful, and I'll demonstrate right now, right? You're going to have an enemy here, and let's say you hit a max rank E. This auto Q, it's a really strong combo because it's undodgeable. There's nothing you can do about it. It gives Yorick a gap closer and it just does a bit of extra damage. The main value though of this item doesn't come in even any of that. It comes in the fact that its mythic passive gives you lethality. The reason that's so powerful in Yorick is because when you're full build, you're gonna have a crazy amount of lethality only with just Paralysis Core, right? This in combination with Grudge give you a shitload of armor pen, right? And this will get to the point where your ghouls are lethal with an investment of only 2 items. And you're super tanky with Death Stance and GA in general. And your ghouls are absolute wrecking balls. And you as Yorick do a lot of damage still because you have a lot of lethality and armor pen, right? This is, in my opinion, the strongest gaming build in the entire game for Yorick. problem with this build is that it's incredibly hard to play. And you might be wondering, how is it hard to play? Well, it's very hard to micromanage ghouls. If you don't have ghouls, you won't be nearly as strong as you are, right? Also, even though this does have a lot of tankiness, if you are grouped up in a team fight scenario, you will do a lot less damage because the enemies will be able to kill your ghouls really easily. You won't have chain proc queues, none of that, right? You only have yourself, and it's up to you to find a way to spawn ghouls, whether it be through camps, enemy deaths, stuff like that, right? Not easy to build, but trust me, it's very fun, has a lot of potential, and it's just fun, yeah? Now we're on to the next build, Eclipse Cleaver. Now, I'm not gonna have a full setup build for this because, as usual, right guys, I think items are always gonna be pretty goddamn similar. You know, you're gonna go Hullbreaker if you're gonna play for the split push. You're gonna go Death Stance. In general, Death Stance is an incredibly good item right now, and Guardian Angel last item. But we're gonna be going over mainly Eclipse and Cleaver, right? Eclipse Cleaver is a mix of the two combined of powers and Triforce, in the way that Yorick will have a bit of power by himself because he has the ability to just, you know, auto Q, get that Eclipse proc, get the shield, play the Kite out, right? Gives him a bit of sustain as well, which is really nice. The Lethality gives you a lot of damage, and Cleaver is going to be really good for this build as well because the ghouls obviously are going to be a lot lethal. It's going to combine with the Lethality, it's going to do a lot of damage. The reason this build is so good is because Eclipse gives you that shield and like sustainability and that ability to kite people out. Cleaver gives you that movement speed to kite you out and also pierce your armor. There's no counterplay to this build because you just have so much mix of things. After you start building a bit more tanky items like Hullbreaker and Death Stance, you're going to be really annoying to kill. You look deceptively squishy, right? You have very little health, but you have this Eclipse shield and movement speed to bait them out on a very short cooldown. Now this in combination with your W to defend yourself with to create distance is a very strong combo. However, the problem with this build is still the same one as Triforce, where you will get kited out, although this will be harder to kite out just because it goes through a lot more damage, and that is why I like powers personally a bit more, right? Anyways guys, that'll be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed patch 12.4. I've been personally enjoying it playing against Renata. It's been really fun to try out, you know, Renata ulting me and into killing my teammate instantly. That'll be pretty funny. Hopefully it doesn't go too rough for you guys. I'll be back in the next video. Have a great one, fellas. Good night, and as usual, as I always say, good luck.